Hi, I'm Gene Cavazos. I'm going to show you how to build a quick and easy router sled, so stay tuned. I'm rebuilding a guitar and I needed to take the face off of this hollow body electric guitar that I built, and I needed to do it, but it's too wide to fit into any kind of a planer, and to be honest, I don't have a planer. So I needed to build a router sled that would be quick and easy to move through this project. This worked out well. Let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to need is take this and you're going to want to make it basically, I'd make it 4.5. That would give a little bit of extra playroom on that. But realize on your sides, you're looking at 2.5 inches or 2 inches depending on the size bit that you're using. So at 4.5, I'm going to add an inch onto that and cut that at 5.5 so that there's room for that. And then I'm going to cut some 2-inch sides for it and trim out the center. So let's take that to the table saw. I'm going to go ahead and measure off and cut my material. Now I'm going to go ahead and make this sled 2 feet wide. Even though the actual area that I'm going to need to be routing is only 16 inches, it'll give me a little extra room to work with. Coming inside, I'm going to mark 2 inches in both ways, and I'm going to leave the guide on the table saw also set at 2 inches, because I'm going to come in and very carefully set the blade down and make 2 cuts that'll make it much easier to cut out that center section. When you're doing this, be very careful because it's pretty easy to get that blade to want to shoot that panel back on you. Also, when you're doing anything with power tools, please wear ear protection and eye protection. Now that I've trimmed those out, you can see I have a fairly close area that all I have to do now, take a jigsaw and just trim those 2 areas out. This is going to work perfectly for what I need and give room for the router bit to flow down between that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that 3rd 2-inch piece for the end pieces of the sled. Now that section that I just cut out of the center will work great for the slides that will fit underneath the slide to keep it in track with the side runners. Bringing it inside, we'll start getting this set up and put together. I'll do a little bit of sanding and clean up some of the inside edges on this. And now I'm going to use a product called Star Bond, and this is a medium thickness. I'll put a link below to all the materials on this. This product is like a super glue, and it only takes a few seconds to bond, and so for fast projects like this it works great. I'll put a little accelerator on this and you'll be amazed. You just set this down and you don't have a lot of maneuvering time, so you want to get it as close and straight as possible the first time. That's it quick, and I'll go ahead and repeat. I'll go ahead and repeat this on the other side. The accelerator helps it to really stick even faster. It's an amazing product. Now, if you wanted to reinforce that, you could come back with like air nails or screws, but I don't think I'm going to need to. That I would need to set my router down in and be able to slide it. Now normally I would take this board and just glue it down into here, but I'm almost thinking instead I'm going to set it down to where it could be slid up and clamped as a buffer depending on how wide I need. I'm going to come in and put a couple marks on this. This is going to be for the guides down below. I'm going to just screw these down with a couple of grabber screws, because if I do a different side sled, I may need to move those. So we're going to start with building two very, very simple side pieces. Now the piece needs to be at least the height of whatever you're going to need to route out. So on this, we're just going to clamp these down underneath this portable workbench here. Then once you have it clamped down, you're going to want to make sure that, one, you have enough clearance, that your distance between is going to be the same on both ends. What you want to do is make sure that whatever you're routing out, you've got enough height that your material can go down and your sled can clear over the top of it. So now, with the 18-inch wide one, and what I'm going to do is set temporary screws on the ends to hold this down. Also, by doing this, I'm going to set temporary marks on the ends on their side that we'll use as a stop plate to keep the router from going past. Is in place. You take your router, set that down in so that it can slide back and forth. You can set the depth by shoving it down and setting it. You can use other routers, but you need to set this one up for your particular router. Taking this outside, I'm going to get ready to set this up and start cutting. Setting my guitar body down, I'll make sure the sled fits across. It slides just fine. So now I'm going to take a little time and I'm going to secure the body down. Now, if you're cutting wood or anything else, you could even use something like hot glue to secure it, but this is going to work fine for me. One clamp and a couple screws on the bottom. I just start moving the router across, and you'll find which direction the router will cut, because otherwise if you try to pull it in the wrong direction, it's going to tear out your material more than just give you a clean cut. You know, this worked out really well. I've got a nice smooth top. I'm going to take the orbital, run around it a little bit. That'll clean it up quite a bit. This worked out really well and lets me move to my next project, which is rebuilding this Telly-style guitar. If you have any comments, questions, put them in the comment section down below. Consider subscribing, smash that like button for me, and I'll see you soon.